And we're back with another episode of Franchise My Business, the podcast for franchisors, hosted by franchisors. I'm your host, Kevin Oldham, and we are going to talk about partners. And I'm going to speak from just a real world perspective. I'm going to give you my perspective on partners. I have partners in some of my businesses. I do not have partners in my other businesses, in one business. And I've seen partnerships work and I've seen them not work. I've, advised a lot of people around partners. I've introduced somebody to their business partner. Partnerships are awesome. So let's think about, first of all, why you have a partner. Business partners are the ones that I find are the best, are the ones that augment your blind spots. They're the ones that specialize in things that you don't specialize in. So let's use our smoothie shop franchises, for example. I, as the kind of marketing sales guy, I naturally focus on those aspects of the business. My business partner, Tim, he's an attorney by trade. He likes finance. He's more of a process operational guy. So he does a lot of the things that I don't enjoy doing, things that actually deplete my energy. And that partnership works really well. And then we divide and conquer on other things that we both enjoy. So I think one of the strongest things from a partnership is having somebody that does the stuff that you don't do well. And then furthermore, will trust each other to take care of the things that are within your area of responsibility. So know that person absolutely has it. I never ask if our books are balanced because I always know that our books are balanced. Always. I just always know that their books are balanced. So those are not things that I have to worry about because that's something that Tim owns and takes care of. Cool. So that's number one thing is finding somebody whose skill set augments yours. Number two, you got to have implicit. Trust is earned, not given. But in 3 of my companies, I have partners. And I can tell you, implicit, and we're 50-50 partners, which most people will tell you is a big no. I'm 50-50 partners in 3 different businesses with people I inherently trust, implicitly. And yes, we have written agreements to figure out what happens in case that trust gets eroded or somebody dies or something. But both of these gentlemen, so 2 partners in 3 businesses, I implicitly trust. My spouse knows these people, trusts them. We're good to go. Keys to the bank, all that stuff. I'm not going to worry that you're going to run off with the money. We have that trust. You think about cons. So first of all, you got to trust somebody and you've got to make sure that their skill set augments yours. And then third, your working styles work, right? But I think if you can check all those boxes, then the pros to having a partner are really unlimited. It allows you to go further than you could go by yourself. Now the cons, things that I feel like you've got to make sure that you're aligned from a life perspective. How you guys live life. If you've got one guy who really enjoys travel a lot, and the other one just thinks that travel's for idiots. And I'm using me as an example. I travel a ton, and my partners in my other businesses don't. And if they saw that as a red flag or whatever, our partnerships would not work. They'd be like, oh, Oldham's goofing off all the time. Well, the reality is I still am available and work on vacations, and things just happen, and it's okay. So you've got to make sure that you're also aligned from a lifestyle perspective, I would say. If you got one person who's, hey, I'm going to be in the office at 7 a.m. till midnight, and you're not grinding away, you're not doing anything, your partnership's not going to work. Cons. If you're not aligned, I think it can be very detrimental to your partnership. If you're somebody who doesn't think with a mind of abundance, right? If you're somebody who thinks small and you're like, hey, I got to have a bigger piece of the pie, partnerships probably won't work out well for you. If you're not somebody who's willing to get out of the way and just trust that the other person has their part of the business and is going to loop you in if there's an issue, partnership's probably not going to work out that well for you. I think the number one thing when it comes to partners is you guys want to date before you get married. You want to date before you get married. Get to know each other, work together, do some projects together before you start tying together things like bank accounts and finances and legal agreements and maybe liabilities on leases and things like that. You just want to make sure that you date each other first and do some projects and work together to find out if basically getting married, becoming legal business partners will actually be something that works out well for you. Because you don't want to be, you think about in marriage, there's this, in the United States, there's a 50% divorce statistic. I don't know what the statistic is for business partners. But I can tell you that probably just like a divorce with your family, like a divorce and business partners, it's going to just be detrimental to that organization. It's going to be painful for the partners. It's just not going to be this great thing. And walk before you run, right? Walk before you run. I'm sure there's a ton of other counsel when it comes to partners, but these are just some of my thoughts. Again, make sure that you augment each other's skill set. You have implicit trust. Walk before you run, or date before you get married. And be sure that when you get married that you really like that person. Everything is, all the boxes are checked and you're good to go. Cool. Until next time, I'm your host, Kevin Oldham, and I hope you enjoyed this show. If you did, I'd love it if you'd share it with one person. Furthermore, I'd love it if you gave us a review. Just hit that little 5 stars or however many stars we earned. And until next time, I hope that you have a phenomenal week and be well.